right, everybody. Welcome to a special New Year's Eve Keto Rocks episode. And I'm Jim Hobbs, and we're here to celebrate tonight. Down below in his New Year's hat is Brian Damage Forsythe of Kix, also my carnivore co-host and America's favorite guitar playing carnivore. And I'll let Mr. Carnivore introduce our special guest for this evening.
Yes, this is the magnificent Shannon. She's the magnificent random lady.
Thank you. I know I saw my name up there. I was like, I forgot to change it.
I was expecting to see hashtag random lady.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know you're always there on the peripheral, get a chance to hear, and I love your New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve attire that you have donning the top of your head.
Yep, it's hiding my bun.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah, I actually put clothes on for you here instead of my pajamas when you see me in the background. You're welcome.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. You know, New Year's Eve should be about new traditions. So here we go. The first one's already started. Anyway, well, it's a pleasure to have you on as our guest, and I say that sincerely because I think you have so much to offer. You're very much like Peggy. Peggy could care less about being in front of the screen, and yet she has so much to offer in regards to just what goes on with her health. But you come at it from a different perspective. You're like where most people can relate to, like, screw that, I'm going to have what I want, but yet you live with, Mr. Carnivore over here. And so tonight we get a chance to pull back the curtain a little bit and wonder, how do you deal with that? And does Mr. Carnivore over there go through the same types of temptations that we all do? How's that for a setup?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, and it's not only just like the whole I'm going to eat what I want, but it's do you know what's in there? So I get the list of what's in there. So like if I want like a barbecue pork rind, I get the whole look it.
Google every one of those
poison. It's all poison. So then I'm like, fine, I'll just have the regular. So, but yeah, it keeps me in check, even though there's the majority of the time I'm like, until I get sick from whatever it is. And then I'm like, why did I do that? And I get zero sympathy. I get none.
Point the ingredients list.
But it's helpful.
Does he say I told you so?
Yeah. Well, no, it's more like, no, it causes inflammation. I hear that like, and I'm
garbage
like,
in, garbage out, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, it's true. And with traveling and stuff too, I think it makes it, because usually like I'm pretty good when I'm here. And then when I'm traveling, like going to Minneapolis or whatever, I'm pretty good there too. Like I usually stay on track with not eating as many carbs and crap, but as far as like traveling and stuff, that's tough because Brian likes to go to diners. And when there's diners, there's French toast and stuff. In my mind, I'm like doing the whole justifying it because I'm not home. I'm,
right.
Somewhere else. And so, I do that a lot and then I end up paying for it. So yeah. And like we were talking about it last night, it's not necessarily like the carbs and all that stuff. It's what they cook it in. It's that's where I'm finding that I'm having the problems, which is causing me to just kind of go, no, because usually it's usually plant-based oils that they're cooking stuff in. And I've noticed just by not having that, when I have it, I pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how you can take a perfectly healthy food and mess it up with vegetable oils.
And yet most establishments will do exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, because I love to sit at the counter at diners or anywhere where you can see them cooking, and so many times I've seen them just grab some kind of a squirt bottle or squeeze bottle and just go onto the griddle with it, and you're wondering what is in that, or actually I'm not wondering. I pretty much know what's in that.
Right. Yeah. I think anytime you go out to eat, you got to ask them, what do how do you cook your vegetables? And most of the time they're going to be using a seed oil of some, and you have to say, well, I just, can you just grill mine in butter, or can you just grill it naked? Can you just, put it on the broiler and I'll take it that way? Or else they're going to cook it in a toxin and hand it to you and say, enjoy.
Yeah.
Bon appetit. Here you go.
And then deal with the aftermath.
Yeah. And the problem is most people don't even realize what they're dealing with. They have no idea they're dealing with inflation. Well, that too, just for but for inflammation, they're dealing, it's a twofer. They get you with inflation and they get you with inflammation. So they get you coming and they get you going.
I'm swollen just from Brian's cookies.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Boy, you went quite into the Mr. Baker mode. I saw yesterday, day before. You were making all types of cookies. I saw keto cookies. I saw cowboy cookies. What else? What else did you make?
That was it. I didn't have
molasses.
Oh, the molasses. Yeah, I didn't take a photo of the keto cookies because I hadn't done them yet. When I had those other ones laid out, because I had to get those out of the way to make room. So I took a picture of those. So the ones in the photograph I posted were all regular cookies.
Now the question is, did you taste to make sure they were worth sending out?
I did. And you know what? My glands swelled up from it.
Just that little bit of tasting that, huh? Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know, like we were trying to figure out what in that caused it. Like, I don't know if it was the sugar, but the cowboy cookies had walnuts. So I'm thinking maybe it was the walnuts. I don't know.
And oats, right?
Oh, it did have oats.
Oh,
well, and there's flour involved and all that stuff. So all that stuff wreaks havoc.
But just sampling what you did sample caused you to have a negative reaction to it. So you now know, play the tape forward. If I eat this, I'm going to be sick.
Yeah.
Pay a price for it.
Well, I already knew that.
And I'm not going to lie, man. I went.
You went all out.
I got cookie shamed.
Oh, it's so funny to watch her because she's. The expression on her face is exactly how I feel when I'm faced with cookies. She just grabs it, puts it in there, and it's just like, because I gave her one to try, and I was like, "Don't you even want to look at it?" She didn't even look at it. Yeah. That was funny.
So, Shannon, how many did you have?
There was I kept poking him and being like, "Oh, look, it broke." And he'd be like, "Stop it." And I was like, "What?" So every time he turned around, I'd be like, I'd have one in my mouth. I probably had about
a dozen.
Oh, more than that, for sure.
Okay.
The first batch of the molasses ones that he made were not as floury, so they were like all buttery
and flat. Yeah.
And they were like, seriously, they were like crack, and like you could just take them, roll them in a ball, and just like hide it when you were shoving them in your mouth, which I may have done. And but like my family, my dad stole them, so my brother didn't get any at all because they were so good. And then we gave it to some of my friends, and they send a message, "You're evil." They were almost gone. also, like within like an hour or two after we gave them to them. They were so good. They were like all buttery and they were so good. So I don't even feel bad. I have no regrets there.
No.
None, except for now I'm like swollen everywhere. So
Well,
I'm paying for it. And I sweat at night too, more so than I normally would. But I can tell when I eat stuff like that because I'll wake up and I'm just drenched.
Yeah.
Yep.
The dreaded night sweats will
The dreaded night sweats. Yeah. And yeah, it's just, I can see, and I had a Christmas pimple and like all of this stuff and like the rashes and stuff that I get from it. So, yeah, I used to have the philosophy that cookies wouldn't hurt me, but I was wrong.
Yeah.
I shoveled them in, man. I'm not going to lie.
No, listen, I used to live that lifestyle. And I used the same justification. Ooh, they broke. Or, hey, it's vacation season,
Yes.
It's vacation. I get a chance to do what I want.
Yep.
It took me 50 some years to realize, do I want to really do what I want? Or do I want to do what's in my best interest of being healthy? And that gap is really far to bridge. But once you bridge it, I'm able to look at other people cook the cookies. And even though at times I'm like, oh, it'd be really good to have just one, I know I just can't have one. I'm like you, Shannon. If I have one, I'm going to have the whole tray. It's just, I can't stop at one.
And what's so weird about it is I'm not a sweets person like that. I'm the bread pasta person. So, but what happens is, and I do this to myself, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I do this often because of the fact that I've been traveling and stuff. I will hit it all super hard and I'll do the sugar and the carbs and the beer and whatever. And then I end up in normal daily life where I don't get any of that stuff. So then I'm eating like keto, well, like him, except for, I actually have some vegetables, but I'm in ketosis. And then I am miserable because then I am laying there and I feel like crap. And I, of course, finally complain about it enough where he's like, drink some electrolytes, which I do. But it's a constant thing every time. And then my stomach is a nightmare and I'm running for the bathroom every time I eat something. And it's just, but I keep doing it. I keep doing it to myself. And I know that it's going to happen. It's just a stupid spiral. And then there's times when I'm super good and I get past that whole feeling like crap and, and then I'm good for a few weeks and then I do it again. I do it again. And
it's called human nature.
Yeah.
It's what it's the travels and the journey that we all go through. I've relived that moment over and over in my life, and at some point you go, when am I going to learn from my mistakes? But yet, you don't have any pain for a few moments. It's tempting. Yep. You're like, well, I feel great today. Surely today's going to be a better day. Surely the cookies are not going to make me sick today. I feel too good and they look too good. I'm enjoying myself. I'm in a happy place. What's wrong with me enjoying life by having a cookie that Brian just cooked? And then you go, oh, this is really good. And then one turns into two, turns into four 16s, 32. And next thing you know, 64 cookies later, like, oh.
64. Well, and the weird thinking that I have too is that like, this is a safe place because he's kind of like, no, you're not eating that. Like there's nothing in the house that's crappy. You know what I mean? So that helps. So that keeps me in check because I'm not going to lie. I would go to the grocery store and I'd be like, I mean, I would get the barbecue pork rinds and whatever, but yeah, so like, this is my safe place. So I know that I can't do a lot of damage here. But as soon as I'm out of here, it's a nightmare. But that's why it was weird to have cookies here
Yeah.
So it was almost like I didn't know what to do.
Like the person that you trusted as
Yes.
the game, not the game warden, the cell warden is left the jail cell unlocked, and he's like looking the other way,
Yeah.
going, "Wait a minute, he's the one that always protects me from
And
myself."
how
And
sad
now,
is that I have to rely on him in order to eat stuff that's not bad? Oh man, I need to recheck myself. But yeah, so it was weird. It was like a totally different thing because I was like, there are cookies in this house. Like there's cookies. Like it was just and then he'd come back and there'd be like two missing on the thing. Like, mm-hmm. But yeah, those cowboy cookies though, they are brutal. Those are the ones that got me. And it was weird because normally I never really paid attention to the way that I felt after I ate stuff.
right,
And right away I was like, do these have nuts in it? Like I could tell right away. And it was like as soon as I could feel it and I just felt crappy. Oh, and the Brussels sprouts, never again. From
really,
dinner the other night, no. Nope.
really. So they
Yeah,
got you, huh?
learned my lesson. Yep, that's it. Like that, yeah, my stomach was messed up for a couple of days.
Well, that was an example of that, because I asked about the asparagus that night, and they said, "Oh yeah, that is vegetable oil." So they cook mine in butter. I'm assuming the Brussels sprouts were probably done in the vegetable oil too.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should have asked about those as well.
yeah. But just the Brussels sprout itself, they are just not, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't
So
do those.
that's, yep, that's done. So no more of those. So that's on my list.
Yeah,
But even like the walnuts that were in the cookie though, like I do have like certain allergies to some of the tree, or are those tree nuts?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. They get me like in the back of my throat and I get like the swollen lips and stuff from it. So I don't really eat them. If they're cooked, I'm fine, but it's still, they just don't agree with me. So, and that sucks because, that used to be the go-to for healthy stuff was, oh, eat some almonds or, you know what I mean? Because
right.
that's I can't do those anymore either.
Yeah, that goes on the list of it may be healthy, but it's not healthy for me.
Yeah.
And I hear a
I
lot of people say that where,
well,
yeah,
it's just like Peggy. Peggy loves Brussels sprouts. She loves broccoli. She loves all those vegetables, but she cannot eat broccoli. Just tears her insides out.
hmm,
She can't have Brussels sprouts. Same thing happens. She's pretty much where Brian's at. The only thing she really can eat is asparagus. For whatever reason, asparagus is about the only thing that her body will tolerate.
green beans I can do also. Green beans, I'm fine. Those seem to be okay, but yeah, asparagus, that doesn't bother me, but yeah, and green beans, but the rest of them, cauliflower, I love raw cauliflower. Can't do it.
Wow.
Can't
You
do it.
know,
And some people say they can't do it when it's raw, but they can eat it when it's cooked.
right.
I can't do either one. And spinach, that's another one that's
I love
terrible.
spinach too. I mean, cream
I
spinach is
know.
one of my favorites.
I know. I love a good spinach salad, but and we were just talking about this last night, Brian, like lettuce. Even simple things like the shredded lettuce that you get in a restaurant.
Right.
I know so many people that are like, I can like you can't
Peggy
eat
can't.
it. There's so
Peggy
much
can't eat it.
preservative crap in there that it's terrible. I take the lettuce off of anything that they give me because it's not worth it.
Yeah,
So
Peggy
yeah,
switched to she'll do romaine lettuce
I can
sometimes,
handle that.
but shredded lettuce or just regular lettuce, it just totally just wreaks havoc on her intestinal tract again.
Yep.
And
Yep. I know.
yeah,
And I
the
used
most
to, and like I was telling Brian, I used to get like a chicken sandwich or whatever, and it would be a grilled chicken sandwich, and it would have that shredded lettuce on it. And I would blame the chicken when it really wasn't the chicken, it was
right.
the lettuce. But yeah, even fake cheese, like that fake kind of whatever cheese and I used to think he was crazy. I'd be like, "Ugh, whatever, like it really
Oh,
matters." No, you can
you're
tell the
not.
difference between cheese too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's sad, back in my younger poor days, I can remember living at McDonald's because they had the chicken sandwich, and I used to love that shredded lettuce and that mayo and that bun. I could eat 10 of those for $10. I'd live like a king, you know. And now thinking about eating that way just makes me sick. And the reality of it is, and this is the part that's crazy, when I go back and look at my 20s and 30s, and even my 40s, but my 20s and 30s especially, I can remember talking about the cookies. I literally would go to Giant grocery store, and they would have these bags of these little teeny chocolate chip cookies, mini chocolate chip. I would buy the whole bag, dump them into a bowl, pour a half gallon of milk or milk all over it. Before they had Cookie Crisp,
those were awesome.
I would just sit there and watch a movie or sports, whatever I was watching, with my bowl of chocolate chip cookies. I would eat the whole bowl. And it's amazing. You go, with the milk would make you kind of full, but then not too long later, you're hungry again. And then I would go do the same thing again. But then I'd feel terrible for the rest of the afternoon, evening. But I'd say, oh, I just overate. That's all it was. But no, I ate crap, you know. And now I think about eating that way, I'd be in a coma these days if I did that. But
were you in shape when you were that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
was
yeah,
your
yeah, I was
metabolism
an
so like
athlete.
you could do that and it didn't?
Yeah, I was an
dent
athlete. I
anything?
mean, yeah, I mean, I rode and back in the 20s, I rode for George Mason University. I rode for fun. My partner Stepanik and I mean, we would get up and we'd run 5 or 7 miles a day, and you know, I was in great shape. So you know, you feel like, you know, you're bulletproof, as I've said many times. You feel like you're bulletproof, but you're not bulletproof when you keep feeding your body chemicals, and that's highly processed food. I mean, I'd hate to know what's in those chocolate chip cookies that keeps them on the shelf for years.
Right.
But and then I'm mixing it with milk, which is just, I mean, not even skim milk. I mean, full grain milk. You know, I'm having all of that fat, and but we do that to ourselves. And then, like you, Shannon, it's been my journey. Even when I decided to live a healthier lifestyle, vacation, traveling, all those was a get out of jail free card to do whatever I wanted to, because it's vacation time. You know, the norm's gone. We're enjoying life, which is what I thought enjoying life was, until you reprogram your mind and realize that you're just being duped in believing that's enjoying life, because being sick is not enjoying life.
No, and the longer you do that to yourself, later in life, you're not going to be enjoying it.
Well, yeah, and like last year at this time, when I was having stomach issues and I had to have an endo and a colonoscopy, and I had to do all these tests, and they were super fun because, you know, you have to give poop samples and stuff. So that was good times. And but I couldn't figure it out, like what was going on with my stomach. And I'm a firm believer that it was simply heavy cream that kind of like started it. And I just got obsessed with the lattes with the heavy cream. And I don't drink milk. I never have. I'm not lactose intolerant. I eat cheese. I eat whatever. I'm fine. But I think that just in that amount that I was doing it, because it turned into an everyday thing. And then sometimes at night I'd be like, ooh, you know, I'll just get a decaf, you know, a small one. And it was just tearing my guts up. And I finally learned, because, you know, I had to try it like that one more time just to see. And no, I haven't had it. I don't even know the last time that I had any like heavy coffee.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah. And actually, I think I actually might have used it one day when I was like, I was having stomach issues and I was miserable, and I'm like, and I was thinking, what's a really good laxative? Heavy cream. And then I felt like crap after that too. So it was like, whatever. So I drank one and it just made it worse. But so yeah, so I finally learned with that one. I finally learned. So I don't do that anymore. And I do crave it because like he'll ask me like, do you really crave that? And I'm like, I do, but there's one of them where, yeah, I finally figured it out. So, you know, eventually I'll just get smart and whatever, but no, you know, I cheat. I cheat.
Well,
So
it takes a while for us to get there,
mhm,
and you said it earlier. It has to be us. It can't be someone else forcing us to get there. It has to be
right,
us,
right,
because we have to be able to withstand the temptations when we're by ourselves and our touchstone's not with
yeah,
us.
right.
Right.
And I just look at it like, and I know there's the really hardcore people that are doing this, and I think that's amazing because it's hard. But I mean, you fall off, you get back on. It's what you got to
Yeah.
do.
Well, yeah, I find, well, I've said this before, but say like making the cookies, the first day when I was trying them, it was because I started really early in the afternoon. But most of the time when I decide to make cookies, I'll wait till I'm in fasting mode, and then that's a tool I use to resist the temptation. It's like, well, I'm fasting, I can't have that now. I won't even lick my fingers when I'm in fasting mode.
Wow, that's some serious um, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Inner fortitude. That's it. So yeah,
Well,
kudos.
well, the other day when I made them, and I wasn't in fasting mode. That was probably a mistake.
Well,
I mean, I wasn't going crazy like Shannon was. I wasn't.
And I don't say anything like if he, you know, tastes a cookie or does whatever, like whatever, because that's his thing. So, because I know that you know, junk food junkie, like your cookies. Well, even when we're going through the airport, Brian will have to stop and take a look at the cookies that are like at the diners or the specific places where he used to go where they used to have cookies. So, I mean, it's not like it's completely gone. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's funny because I won't stop and get any, but I know where they are. It's like I'm aware. Like, oh, look, see, there's the cookies over there.
I'm gonna go see my old friend. I'm just not gonna hang out
yeah,
with my old friend.
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, yeah.
Another weakness,
I got nothing.
another weakness of mine, since we're just clearing the air, used to be like a bowl of ice cream, like mint chip ice cream, and
Ugh,
then, but here's where the '80s was just terribly done wrong, and I'm not going to blame anybody but me. But when they came out with the no fat yogurt and no fat ice cream, and they made you believe that now you can have all the stuff that you love without the fat, and they made you believe that fat was the enemy. And
yes.
so then I was like, well, crap, I can eat a whole half gallon of ice cream every night watching my shows, and which I did. Or I'd go to Safeway or Giant and get, they used to have the soft serve ice yogurt right there in the grocery stores. And I would get the big, tall cup of non-fat vanilla yogurt and come home and eat it, along with a rotisserie chicken. So I thought I was eating healthy. Uh, and little did I know, it's like, I just kept gaining weight, gaining weight, gaining weight. But I can't be gaining weight because the only thing I'm doing is eating the non-fat yogurt that they say is good for you. Um, but
Yeah,
I
because
I
they've
fell into that trap. I fell
all
into
the
that
other
trap.
junk in it.
Yep, I fell into the trap of no fat was good for me, when reality the opposite was true.
Yeah.
And that was around the time that everything kind of changed too. Like it went from being, I mean, things were always kind of processed, but when it started to get bad, like
Yes. Your
when it
butter,
really
your
took
butter
a
went to
turn,
margarine. I mean,
Crisco.
yes, your
Yeah.
seed oil, all that stuff just became prevalent. Like this is what you need to do, and then everything was highly processed. And it truly is amazing how highly processed foods are out there, unless you're looking for a single ingredient food like meat.
And I think a lot of it had to do also with the microwave. Like when the microwave came out, because there was so much of the frozen stuff, and then they had to put the preservatives in that, and then everything else. It was like, I mean, I remember it went from like on TV all the time, the Wesson commercials and all of that. And then we were taught that lard is bad.
Oh yeah. Well, I remember at the beach, I lived at 7-Eleven. Every morning I'd get up and I'd get this big egg and cheese. And you know how highly processed that egg is, and all that stuff's been sitting there in a bag
Yeah.
for a year. And I'm going to stick it into the microwave there at 7-Eleven and hit the number 6. So that's what it tells you to do. And then, 60 seconds later, I got a hot, steaming egg and sausage sandwich, which I just loved. I didn't really love it. I think I loved the convenience of it because, being truthful, it didn't taste that good, but it tasted good at the moment. And it was cheap. And so I rolled with it. But the reality of it is, there's nothing tasting better than, like a good grass-fed, free-range chicken egg. And the color tells you that it's a different, than the other eggs that you get at the store that are highly processed, and the chicken's got all types of hormones and stuff injected into it. And so there is a difference. And being human, we go with convenience. I mean, we're like the easiest creature to be deceived, especially when the powers to be are the one doing the deceiving. We're raised to trust those people, so they're not doing us wrong. They would not lie to me. And so we go right down that path that they want us to go down. And it takes a lot of willpower for those of us who finally just make the decision to break free from that lifestyle. And so, we talk about it all the time, but look, we're also the first to tell you that we know it's not easy. We know it takes commitment. We know that you're going to be lured back time and time again. I think, being the New Year's show, I think it's a great way to realize that, you don't have to wait a following year to start introducing a new tradition. Like every breath you take is a new moment for you to be able to reinvent yourself and to start a new habit that is a healthy habit for you. And so just because you screw up, you don't go, well, I screwed up. There goes 2022. I'm going to have to wait to 2023 to start my New Year's resolution. No, you get a chance to breathe again. As soon as you get a chance to breathe again, you get a chance to sit there and start living the life that you want to live and manifesting what you want to see manifested. So you don't have to wait. And I know we talked about this last year, I believe, but New Year's resolution really is it's almost like it's determined to trick you into failing.
I was just going to say, you're setting yourself up to fail.
Yes, you're setting yourself up to fail. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I was going to say, just like those regular diet programs like Weight Watchers and all that junk, it's just all, it's meant to just string you along so they can make more money off of you. But it's the same thing. Any kind of diet where you're depriving yourself, it's going to come back. It's like stretching a rubber band, and at some point it's going to snap, and you're just going to go back.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of TV lately, and they've been running commercials, Oprah Winfrey or WW Weight Watchers, and I watch all that and how they're spinning it, and of course, this time of year you see those type of commercials, and then you also see the gym memberships and the special no membership fee, no upfront fee, $10 a month, $39 a month, and that's why the first month of January those places will be packed. But you come back in March, probably gonna be half the people. Come back in June, this is gonna probably be a third of the people.
Yeah, you have the people that they get the benefits from their health insurance if they have a gym membership. Right. So like I used to see all the time, the same people would walk in, scan their card and walk right out so that they could continue to get the $25 or whatever it was off of their gym membership. Wow. But they never, I know. And I would think to myself, really? Like I just never got it. Like, go get your butt on a treadmill for even 5 minutes, like do something. But yeah, so but they're only cheating themselves.
Well, what are they? I mean, the question is, what are they saving? I mean,
Nothing, because they're
yeah, that's the craziness.
right. So like, why even bother? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I never did that. I always went in and actually worked out. But yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say something and now I can't remember, so it wasn't important probably.
Well, a lot of people love to say I joined the gym, or hey, my spouse and I or our family joined the gym, or I finally joined the gym.
Yeah.
It's like a, it's like a trophy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they may just go there because what, that place is right next door to my Starbucks. I get a chance to go there, and then I'll go swag my ticket, my card, to say that I was there. Then I'll go over and get my latte.
Or the frappuccino with the whipped cream. Yeah.
And so they'll spend so they'll spend the $4 for a frappuccino or a latte or some frou drink, but they won't pay $4 out of their own pockets to truly utilize that membership for working out for their best interests.
Well, and it's kind of like with the Weight Watchers and all that stuff, with Oprah Winfrey and the what's her name, Osmond and whatever. Look at them over the years. They balloon up and then they go back down, and they balloon up and they go back down. So it's like, really? Obviously, this type of diet that you are peddling does not work unless you are eating their food and you can't eat anything else, because if you do, you go off the rails. There's so much junk. It's so much crap in that. I couldn't even believe it when I was reading some of the labels on the Nutrisystem stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, what a scam.
Well,
Seriously.
the whole system's set up for you to fail. It does it. Eating one ingredient food, it's. I mean, I know from experience, it's super consistent. Like I don't even have to watch what I eat or how much I eat. I mean, not that I don't watch what I eat, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Eat all the meat and eggs and bacon that I want, and it's just completely consistent.
And those food plans tell you that you cannot eat meat.
Yeah,
Well, not that you cannot eat meat, but it's just, here, eat this instead, and it's like you can eat, well, what a person should eat,
Mhm.
and then what they can eat on that is ridiculous, like starving. And
well,
that's how they get you going too, is here, we're going to knock you down to 1,200 calories. You're a 6'4" guy.
it's
Well,
all
first,
it's all based on calories too, and
yeah, it is. It's
calories.
calories.
They're not equal. Like a
No,
calorie from sugar is not the same as
I
calorie
can't have a pork chop, but I can have nachos,
or this
as
little
long as,
Yeah,
little.
yeah,
I mean, that little. I mean, especially the deals are already prepackaged for you. I mean, a size of spaghetti is about the size of one spoonful, and then it's just crazy. I mean, let's be for real. If you're eating spaghetti, you're a carboholic, and you're just not going for a little spoonful of spaghetti. You want a whole bowl full of spaghetti to satisfy you.
oh
For
yeah,
you to get a taste of spaghetti and say, okay, this is it. As we just talked about, you're setting yourself up for failure. There is no way that you're not going to be triggered by a spoonful of spaghetti and not want more spaghetti, but you're going, oh, this is all I can have. Okay, I get a chance to have spaghetti, my little apple treat over here, and three little four things, and then you eat all of it, and you are literally starving. Um,
or you get a mini size bag of like cheese puffs, and
got
you can
three of them
have
in there.
those, and there's no fat, but oh my god, the stuff the crap that's in there. I was like, and this is okay, really? Like, it's amazing to me. I'm still floored by the garbage that they peddle in that whole thing, and it's expensive. I mean, it's not like it's, and I just don't get that, because I don't, like Brian said, it's not like you have to ration your food and you eat once a day. I mean, I was watching somebody that was on this whole thing, and it was like, from the moment that they woke up until the time they went to bed, all they thought about was the next time that they could eat.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly. And it was like, oh, well, I did all this work outside, so I get to eat more today. And it's like, just eat a friggin' steak.
And
You'll be
nothing else.
fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a constant thing. It's like, I can't imagine sitting there all day thinking, I am so friggin' hungry. I can't wait until I can get my cheese puffs so that I can be not hungry for 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, it's.
Well, also, Jim, you were talking about how when you were younger and in shape, you could just eat all that crap and it didn't seem to do anything. But the thing is, it doesn't matter how skinny you look or whatever. It's what you're putting, those chemicals that you're ingesting, it's wreaking havoc on your insides, and that's the part you can't see. But that's the part that in the long run is going to come back and bite you.
Right. Right. No.
Well, and when I was reading through some of the ingredients, and this is where I look at myself and go, oh, Shannon. So like, I'm looking at the snacks from these, the Nutrisystem and all that. And I'm reading it and I'm mortified, and I'm like, and there's dextrose and there's blah, blah, blah. And then I'm thinking to myself, wow, man, you are such a hypocrite, because you won't think twice to go and eat a pork rind that has the barbecue stuff in it, that has the chemicals, because they're pork rinds, right? So like in my head, I'm thinking again, like, see, that's where I struggle. But at the same time, I know better. And it's sad when I see people getting sucked into that kind of stuff where they think that they're eating healthy when they're not. Like, I know better, but
Yeah, I'm looking up right now. So I'm looking up one of those brands. I'm not going to name the brand, but they're one of the ones that pack the meals for you. And choose your plan, men or women. And it's basically, this is save yourself 50% or more. So it's low as $11.57 a day. That's giving you a lot of sugar for $11.57 a day. When the reality of it is, you can take that $11.57 and have some eggs, have some ground beef, even if you want to have a ribeye, and that's all you're going to eat for the day. And you're going to be satisfied. You're going to be full, and you're not going to be, as you were saying, Shannon, waiting. Well, I can't wait to eat my 10 o'clock snack, and then can't wait to eat my 12 o'clock meal or my 2 o'clock meal. And because they give you 3 or 4 meals, and then you got the in-between snacks, and then it's a nightmare, because what you're really doing is constantly always living your life 2 hours in advance. That's where you just can't.
That's true.
You're never in the moment, because the moment is not satisfying. You're always waiting for that 2 hours in advance. And so when you finally either give up and go back to living what you want to live, you just sabotage yourself.
Because once you try to eat something that's like an actual normal meal, you can't. You'll gain it right back. I mean, that's the thing. Well, you can have all the stevia in your coffee that you want, because it's, a sweetener and it's not sugar. But then you look at what they're eating in the food and it's sugar. It's just it's disguised as something else, and people don't know the names of the way that they disguise sugar. So,
well, not only that, but when you go out to eat, let's say when we went out to eat at the restaurant in Nashville, Brian asked the question. We all got a steak, and we ordered vegetables for everybody, but we ordered one item. When you're there and you can't order your Nutrisystem or your Weight Watcher pre-packaged meal, you're going to order something that's a normal portion at that point, which then throws you right out of the loop right then, because when you go home to eat your 2 p.m. meal or your 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. and you get that little, spoonful of spaghetti, you're like, what's this? And then what happens is you start going through 2 or 3 of those Nutrisystem meals because one of them just doesn't do it.
Or you eat an ice cream bar because, that one falls into the calorie category. Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, how do you justify, like, I just don't get it. So I have to keep my mouth shut because one of my friends is doing it and they have seen results and whatever, but they've fallen off a little bit. And then it's kind of like me where they eat a million cookies and don't care, and they're pre-diabetic also. So it's how can a person that's pre-diabetic not be diabetic after eating that garbage?
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
I ask the questions and I respect her, but Oprah Winfrey has more money than most women in the world has. So if she's not skinny by the 19th year of her peddling WW, and she can have an assistant, a coach, she can have her own cook, her own weightlifting instructor, she can have the best of all worlds, but if it hasn't worked for her, there's no way it's going to work for the average person, because there's just no way you have the access to the tools that she has access to. So, it's just, you have to do something, as we said it right from the beginning, that you and you alone can do on your own without having somebody else have to prepackage the meal for you, without maintaining the food supplies that are in your household. You have to do whatever it takes for you to be able to live the life that you need to live in order for you to maximize your immune system and maximize your health. So you're around for as long as you want to be around. Now, if you don't want to be around, you want to be a short-term plan, and hey, life is your choice. You get a chance to do with it what you want, then go for it. No, I'm not telling you don't do it. I'm just saying, if that's your goal, then you really got to work. You specifically have to sit there and give yourself a fighting chance to be able to become the person that you say you want to become.
Yeah. And I find, for myself, I had to educate myself on nutrition and all that stuff, and not, not the mainstream nutrition. I had to dig deep and find out the real nutrition. And that's the way I do it, because now, if I do look at an ingredients list, I know what I'm looking at. I'm not fooled by all those fancy names for sugar and other things,
Yep. Well,
and actually, you know what? My food is kind of pre-packaged because he makes it for me.
All right, it's that time of the evening where we get a chance to check in with Mr. Brian Shanker of the MeatTribe YouTube channel for those meat deals of the week. So what do you have for us on this New Year's Eve, Mr. Shanker?
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
All right. Yeah, I guess it's New Year, not New Year's, right? Happy New Year. All right, let's go. We got a couple of deals from Carnes. Central PA is where they're located. They've got several stores. Their deals run through January 3rd in the new year. And they've got a choice grade boneless chuck roast for $4.99 per pound. And they've also got some choice grade boneless whole New York strip steaks for $6.59 a pound. And next up, Food Lion. They've got a couple of deals. They run through the 4th. Their Nature's Promise meat and seafood, all encompassing that, is 25% off. And they've also got some choice grade boneless New York strip steaks for $6.99 a pound. And then our favorite store, Harris Teeter.
Yes,
we should try to get them to endorse us.
Yes.
As much as I'm reporting on them. So their deals run through the 4th. They again, Jim, have their rancher and choice grade bone-in standing rib roasts or steaks, $7.99 per pound for rancher and $8.99 per pound for choice. They just seem to have an unending supply of these things.
That's worth celebrating.
Nice. They've also got the choice grade boneless chuck eye steak on sale still for $5.99 a pound. And then this one, I know I typically report on beef only, but this one I think was worth mentioning. They've got a Boston butt pork roast for 99 cents a pound.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, they didn't say if it was bone-in or boneless, so I don't know, because you can get it either way.
Yeah, I prefer bone-in.
Yeah, the first one that I did, the one I cooked, had the bone in it. But for 99 cents a pound, even if it's boneless, I think I can't pass that up. I think I'm gonna have to go there and get that one. And then Brian, you guys down there, Kroger, they've got some choice grade bone-in ribeye roasts on sale for $6.99 a pound. No purchase requirement like they had right before Christmas. You don't have to do the $25 or $50, whatever it was. So they must have some left over, $6.99 per pound.
Yeah, I was there yesterday. I saw them restocking that big bin.
Okay. Did you pick any up?
No, but I might go back.
Okay. And they've also got some choice grade boneless chuck roasts for $5.99 a pound. And then Giant Foods. This was an interesting one. I don't know what the quality is going to be. It is choice grade. Oh, by the way, the Harris Teeter and Kroger deals run through the 4th of January, if I didn't say that. Giant, their deal only runs through the 1st, January 1st. It's a choice grade boneless, butcher cut New York strip steak, 3/4 of an inch thick, vacuum sealed. So it's a per package on average, they said it's 2 to 3 pounds. So it's going to be around $5.93 per package. I might head over there and check those out. 3/4 of an inch isn't very thick. I typically like it about 1.25 inches thick when I get my steaks, but we'll see. Might be something nice to just throw in a pan or something. But a couple of things I wanted to talk about real quick. The cost of ground beef. I haven't reported any deals on ground beef. It has gone up. I have not seen any sales for ground beef for less than $2 in quite a while. And about mid-year, we were seeing ground beef on sale quite a bit for under $2 a pound. So that's gone up. And then there's lots of chuck roasts and New York strips out there at the various stores. My video that I'm going to have more extensive, it'll be longer with more sales, I should say. Lots of chuck roasts and New York strips. And then finally, I smoked my second chuck roast yesterday. It came out the same as the first one in that it was a little tough and dry. I did do it differently. I've got my sous vide heating up right now. So the last time, even though it was a little tough and dry, when I sous vide it, the leftovers, it came out fantastic. So I'm hoping that's the case. But doggone it, man, that thing took all day long, and I had a pan of water in there. I kept the temperature low. I wrapped it once it got to 160. And it's still a little tough and dry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's the way to do it for sure. Low and slow, and you having water there.
Do you spritz it?
I did spritz it a little bit. Now, it took a long, long time to get out of the 130 range. And everything I've read, the stall usually takes place like between 150 and 170.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if maybe that's just an average and you can have a stall happen at a much lower temperature. I don't know. What's your experience?
I've never had one that low.
Okay.
So
anyway, I'll let you guys know how the leftovers are after I sous vide them.
Please do. So what do you got planned for New Year's, Brian? How are you and your family going to celebrate?
That Brian.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Shaker.
I mean, by surprise.
Well, we we get that grape sparkling juice for the kids and stay up and watch the countdown, and that's about it. We might make some appetizers and stuff and snack on that a little bit, but we don't go out. We haven't gone out for New Year's in I can't remember the last time we went out and did something fancy.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, hope you and your family have a great New Year's, and thanks again for sharing with us those deals, especially the ones from Harris Teeter. I'll definitely have to go check those out before the 4th of January gets here, and we will see you next year, brother.
Sounds good. Have a good one, everybody. Stay safe.
Take care. All right, we'll see you.
I need to do some inner self-reflection.
I think you're going to have time to do that, especially since America's favorite carnivore is heading overseas. Do we have an announcement?
Not yet.
Okay. Stay tuned, everybody.
Oh, I hear Smokey.
He wants to get back in the bedroom.
I was going to say, I hear her. I heard she got a good annual review.
Yeah, I took her in. Well, this is Friday. The show's airing Friday, but I took her in on Monday, and yeah, she's on thyroid meds, and so she's gained weight. Like when I first brought her here to Nashville, she was only like 7 pounds something. I forget exactly, and now she's up to what is she, 9.2.
Wow, good.
And her birthday is tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, they had me backing her off on the meds a little bit, so we're gonna see how that straightens her out, because it's those meds are rough on the hard on the kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna back.
Whoa! She's rubbing on the computer. She had to tell us that she just went to the bathroom. That's why she was meowing.
Oh, she's celebrating.
Yeah. Yeah, she's trying to get on the computer.
You can hear her purring too.
I do hear.
Can
her.
you?
Yeah, I heard
Oh,
it.
yeah, you can.
So is her birthday New Year's or is it
30th.
30th.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I said it wrong.
No,
Her
I just
birthday
wanted
was
to make sure.
yesterday.
I was gonna say, she shares a birthday with Peggy.
Oh.
Peggy's birthday's the 1st.
Oh, New Year's
She
baby.
is a New Year's baby. And we normally spend it down in at Colonial Beach at the place that you guys we did
Oh.
Rocks Retreat. But this year everything's been canceled, so we will be spending it at home.
Ah.
So
That's okay.
I
It's
have
on the weekend, which is nice.
It is, and I her gift has not been delivered yet.
Uh-oh.
But no, it'll get here. It's on because of inventory supplies and.
Is it a year's supply of Nutrisystem?
Yeah, go on it. No, she's not. I don't think she's within earshot of here, but it's one of those things for your back, the inverter.
Oh, yeah. Inversion table.
Yeah, teeter. So yeah,
Yeah, I love mine.
Because I was thinking, especially in Nashville when we had to
the Ryman.
It destroyed her back, and so the next day we literally had to wheelchair her out of the hotel.
No.
Through the airport. I mean, she got a glimpse of what it was going to be like in the future of just going through life. She's, man, you get a whole different perspective sitting down here going through the world.
You do.
People couldn't have been nicer to her. So.
I've been there. Oh, that's terrible. I feel so bad for her. That's exactly what happened with my back.
Yeah, when it goes
poor
out,
Peggy.
when it goes out, it's out.
It goes out. Yeah. And flying like that is absolute torture.
Yep.
Sitting there trying to get comfortable and you can't. And poor Peggy.
Yeah, so she was glad to be back. It's fine now, that we didn't take the Beamer with us on that trip, so she did not have the Beamer. So she, as soon as we got in that night, she jumped on the Beamer, and I'd say by the next day, her back was okay already. So
Good. Well, that's good.
It was good. So, well, with that being said, it's that time of the evening, so you guys get a chance to go celebrate New Year's with your family and friends. Just be out there and be safe. But what bit of advice would you give people out there, Brian, that would help maximize their immune system and put them on a good trajectory for health?
I would say eat your meat.
Awesome. And I would second that. And we'll see you guys next year. Stay safe, stay well, and stay out of that hospital. And we'll see you guys in 2022. Take care, everybody. Happy New Year.